Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Thursday, the 25th of February. Okay, so looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday we finally managed to touch and cut through the daily 50 MA, just running into the 100 MA. Whether this is a turning point, a pivotal point, or whether we'll see a continuation, probably need to. Today will probably give us a good guide in real terms. So what we've done here, there was also the support from this prior area of the prior highs here as well. So we've got plenty of support that was sitting around there. It's whether or not it can capitalise and move any further forward. Not much in the way of clues here. I mean, we had the relatively bullish engulfing candle. I say relatively, it didn't quite take out the previous bottom, but it's a questionable point here. Now, I was drawing a little while ago. There we go. I'll readjust it now. There's really a couple of trend points which will see us one way or the other. One thing we haven't done yet is hit the daily pivot, which is a high probability, so I would expect that to be a possible target this morning, although there's a lot of support from these prior moving averages. That's the only thing when it starts consolidating, which it has been quite range bound for a period here. If we were to draw the channel, I say channel in there, the box there, you see it's in a range of between around about 105.1 and 109.6, so in a relatively tight range there, and it could kick around in that area for a while. We'll see, but at the moment I'm just watching to see which way, and my preference obviously is to watch it fall to the downside a little bit. Now if it starts breaking beyond the daily pivot, well, we could be back towards the daily S1 and yesterday's lows. Cable is looking weak, that's for sure. We've got little in the way of support from where we are from a daily perspective until we get down to the 2008 lows, and there we sit. 2008, 2009 lows, I should say, and then we're sitting sort of towards that 136.66 area to 136. So some key sort of round numbers down there. We're already, well, it just looks like it's almost stepping down every other day or so at the moment. Very weak still, and may, as I say, may well continue in this trend. Today just taking a short bounce at the moment, but as I say, it's already hit the pivot, tried to get higher, struggled. So yes, daily S1 could certainly be on, and maybe even more the way it's been moving. Okay, dollar yen. So dollar yen managed to, well, there's a bit of a recovery from the dollar yesterday afternoon. We see it push back up towards the 4-hourly 34, but again, there's a bit of weakening here as we're pushing through. From an hourly point of view, we changed the original sort of trend that was running down across the highs here. There's a trend line, it's broken that trend line. Whether it'll come back and test that and then bounce, we'll see, but certainly for now it's got a daily pivot below us, which could well be hit. It's already well effectively broken this near term trend as well, so it's if it can break through the pivot here, well, could be on for the S1 and maybe even yesterday's lows again at retest of those sort of levels. Aussie dollar, let's get into another one of those consolidated phases. I mean, it's been in quite a choppy sort of range all month, and it's not moving too far out of that at the moment. It looks like it's trying to put a lower high in here and sinking a little bit again. Some data came out through the Asian session, which wasn't particularly bright looking for the future. So it's still sitting here in this bit of a wedge at the moment from an hourly perspective, I should say. Whether it will break to the lower side and start moving down towards its, it still hasn't touched its weekly pivot here, so got an opportunity to do that. But if it can start breaking down towards that region, or just breaking through that S1, may give us the guide for the downside here. But for now, it's just having another little bounce here. What we've got is some higher lows, lower highs and lower lows kicking in here, with the exception of yesterday afternoon's little jab up there. So really need to see a direction this wedge, and it may then give us a reasonable trade. Canadian dollar really hanging in on what's happening on the oil price. I'll just again bring the oil price in. It's in fact, you see it, we took on a bounce yesterday in terms of the daily price action. There's a good chance oil will get stuck in a range sitting somewhere between the sort of $25, $26 barrel and $35 barrel now for some time. So I think as we move forward, well, I could be wrong and it could break out 35 again, but has found resistance up that so far, and the agreement seems to be lightweight. So at the moment, I think if it's kept as it is, we'll just see oil just floating around how it is at the moment, which in turn leaves the Canadian dollar, leaving it relatively choppy, and it's still relatively choppy yesterday. I mean, it's just, I think I brought us to talked about this yesterday, but it's just sort of in that sort of rangy, choppy sort of phases where you're getting the sort of snap back sort of moves. And yesterday, well, we was in this rising channel. It just sort of eventually kicked over, and later in the afternoon there just rolled over and sold off in the end, and carried on selling off quite strongly. Could be up for the daily pivot at the moment. It's not that far away from it, so could see any rallies may just see us take up to at least that level. But if we start breaking this trend, well, we could be down for the S1 area, maybe even further. So that's where we are at the moment. Today, news-wise, we've already seen the Australian private capital expenditure, which was good for this month, but not so good looking forward. At 9:30, we've got the second estimate GDP for the UK, which is, although it's rated high on these systems, it's unless it's any significant move, we probably won't see much of a move from that point of view. And then 1:30, we've got US core durable goods, okay for a few pips, but it's not a big mover because of the variability in the answer in the data. And then unemployment claims at the same time, but so not masses of significant news today. So again, another technical day. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.